In today's video, I explain what a diet break is and how to do it. What's going on, guys? This is Paul Revelia from ProPhysique.com coming to you from Tampa, Florida on Monday morning. It's a little bit chilly out. It's in the 60s today in Florida, so we're suffering a little bit. Actually had to cover up, wear some long sleeves, but I hope everybody is staying warm. And welcome to another week of videos. I'm really excited about today's topic because it's kind of new in the world of dieting and fat loss as far as I'm concerned. It's something I learned about last year, started incorporating with my clients, and saw some immediate, very beneficial results. And if you're watching this video, you already know the title. So let's talk about diet breaks and what does a diet break mean? First, I want to kind of get rid of the visual concept that a diet break means you don't track, you don't care what you eat, you just take a complete break from dieting. No, that's not what we're going for here. So when I talk about diet breaks, what I'm talking about, specific to me, my clients, the approach that I take, is that if we have someone who's been in a fat loss phase for a long period of time, and we know how that can go, you get into a caloric deficit, you're doing lots of cardio, you're training, whatever it may be, for a long period of time, we've all got to that place where it just feels like it's never going to end. Now, typically what I use are refeed strategies throughout a week, and those even can change and be less than a week. They could be consecutive refeeds in nature. But all of these things are used to benefit the person dieting psychologically, hormonally, glycogen, energy, performance, all these things can benefit from refeeds. But what specifically is a diet break? Last year when I was in Australia with my buddy Eric Helms, we had a pretty lengthy discussion about using diet breaks. And he pointed me to a study where they had individuals diet for 12 weeks. And they had one group diet straight through for 12 weeks, and they had the other group diet through with a diet break in the middle, and both groups had the same results. So if you can lose fat while incorporating a diet break at the same rate as someone who does not get a diet break, there are a lot of benefits to that. What I want to talk about today are the specifics of how I incorporate diet breaks and how potentially you could as well. So with a typical person, we have a one-day refeed. What I like to think of the diet break is as a full week of refeeds. We also want to taper cardio during that week. I recently had a client who had been dieting for a long time, a few months, and we had hit a pretty severe sticking point. We weren't dropping. We had made a few adjustments to calories and cardio, and I told her I wanted her to take a diet break. But I was very specific and I said, listen, we are not taking a break from the process. We are not taking a break from our goals. We are just taking a break from the hard pounding cardio caloric deficit. So we did a week full of refeeds. We tapered cardio down to just a few sessions of steady state. Lo and behold, she dropped weight. And she dropped weight the week after, and then she maintained for a few weeks. So we were actually able to use the diet break for several weeks in a row. Then we went back into our caloric deficit, added some cardio, and guess what? Weight started dropping again. So this is just one example of the benefits of using a diet break. Now, the way I would handle a diet break for someone who is in a caloric deficit is basically bring calories to a refeed level. And when I talk about a refeed level, that's usually about maintenance. And I'll usually lower protein a little bit, lower fats a little bit, raise up carbohydrates to kind of balance out the refeed, because I feel there's more benefit to higher carbohydrate refeed days. So for a diet break, we'll kind of do that for a whole week. Then we'll look at the cardio, and I'll try to bring down the total cardio time for the week down to maybe 50% or even a little bit lower for the entire week. And I don't want to just cut it out completely. I want to keep doing it. And why do we do this? Well, at the end of the day, our bodies are about performance. They're about performing. And we can reach a place where performance begins to suffer, psyche begins to suffer, and even with low calories and really grinding it out, we're just not making any progress. And I feel that the diet break is basically just an enhanced refeed. It's going to give us some improved performance in the gym. We're going to look better, we're going to feel better. A little bit less cardio means while we're working out, we don't have that cardio on our mind. So our workouts are going to be better for that reason as well. Overall, calorically speaking, we're kind of resetting our metabolic rate just for that week, just for that. Now, I'm not saying we're fixing the metabolism, we're not restoring the metabolism to where it was, but we're just kind of allowing things to get back to where they should be, hormonally speaking, for a few days. You know, my buddy Alberto and Eric, they actually like to discuss the metabolism as a quarter going around and around, going down the drain when you're dieting. You see, once you begin that process, it's going down. Well, during a diet break, we can actually kind of maintain for the week, right? Instead of it coming further down the drain, it stays steady. So while we are not building it, we are also not depressing it any further. All of these things seem to have a compounding impact. Now, if you just started a fat loss phase and you're 2 weeks in, do you need to do a diet break? I highly doubt it. I mean, every case is individual, but the individuals that I like to use a diet break on are the ones that I know have been putting in the work for weeks and months, and we're starting to get to that place where when we make adjustments, it's really a consideration on, are calories now going to be too low for you to perform in the gym? Is cardio going to be too high? Are you becoming an endurance athlete? Where are we at? And sometimes that diet break can really just give us the platform to move forward in our fat loss process. And I know it can be scary when your goal is to lose body fat and someone tells you eat more, do less cardio. But our bodies are not a math equation, right? Or maybe they are a math equation, but it's not as simple as subtracting calories, adding cardio to get fat loss. Sometimes we have to use these toggle switches to keep fat loss going, especially over a long period of time. Hopefully that kind of clarifies the use of a diet break. Now, not everyone's going to respond the same. Don't get too depressed if a few days into the diet break the scale has gone up or hasn't gone down. Remember, the overall purpose of the diet break is to get to the end of that week and kind of assess what has happened. If after a full week the scale is up a pound or two, go back to the previous week's macros and get started with fat loss again. Go back to that cardio that you were doing, get fat loss started again, see how things go. If after a week on a diet break the scale is actually down, well, I would suggest doing it for another week, seeing how it progresses. We sometimes can reach a place in fat loss where we can get into a metabolic building phase where our metabolic rate actually increases faster than the thermic effect of food. So even though we're adding food, we're burning calories at a better rate, and it also allows us to perform better. So if you lose weight on those diet break numbers and cardio, continue it for another week. Now, if after a full week nothing has changed, you're stable, well, that's still a huge win, because assuming that you were stable the week before with the higher cardio and the lower calories, now you can go back to those calories again and see if you start progressing again. Again, this is all, the purpose is to just make fat loss sustainable, a lifestyle, the least difficult that it has to be, okay? It's going to get difficult no matter what. But if we can incorporate some things that make the process a little more enjoyable and fit it into your life, then it's going to be more sustainable and you're going to be able to continue for a longer period of time. Now, if you guys have specific questions about diet breaks, here's how I would like to address them. Let's say you've been on a fat loss phase. In the comments below, put fat loss phase, 12 weeks, current macros, bam, current cardio, bam, final line. How is your progress? Have you been able to drop at those numbers? Have you been stuck for 2 or 3 weeks? I will give you my recommendations for what your diet break macros and cardio would be. once all my client work is done. So it might take a day or two to get to these. The cool thing about having all these new subscribers, and thank you for coming to my channel and subscribing and watching my videos. The cool thing is that, you know, I get to connect with so many more people, and the comment section has really been filling up, and my goal every week is to answer every single comment that I get on my YouTube videos. Now, I assume I'm going to get to a point where that is not possible, but when my work is done, right now what I'm doing is I'm going through the comments and I'm going bam, 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 one by one, and just answering all the questions that I can, and commenting and thanking you guys for being a part of the channel. So thank you so much for that. But I can't promise I'll get to everyone, but it is my goal to get to everyone. All right, guys, that's a diet break from Coach Paul's perspective. Comments and questions below as always. Thank you guys. Have an awesome week. And if you're interested in what a refeed is, I just did a video last week on refeeds, so you could go watch that one. But basically, it's just a day where we increase calories to kind of spur on some additional fat loss. There are some other benefits as well, which I discuss in the video. This week, we got a good week ahead of us. Today, I'm going to be at Powerhouse Gym, North Tampa, with none other than Lauren Dannenmiller. And we are going to be doing a demo for Core Nutritionals. She is much prettier than me, so she will be handling all the face-to-face stuff, but I'm going to be there to support her. Yes, I'm very excited that Core Nutritionals is now carried in my home gym, and my goal is to get everybody in my gym using Core products because they are awesome. All right, guys, this is Paul from ProPhysique.com. Have an awesome Monday. Kickstart this week, and let's get going.